Again, here is herpetologist Terry Vandeventer. Welcome to this show.
Melanie.
I know we're going to be talking about snakes, and that is a big subject here in Mississippi. People are, I told you on Nextdoor, they're always taking pictures of snakes and wanting to know more about them. What can we, here in Mississippi, how many different snakes do we have?
We have 56 different kinds. Of the 56, only 6 are venomous.
Okay.
But in some places, those particular ones are abundant in the area. You might go to a swamp in the Delta, there would be a lot of cottonmouths, you know, which are venomous, but nothing to worry about if you know how to behave yourself. You know, so in other words, leave them alone.
Leave them alone.
Leave them alone. Yeah.
That's what a lot of them say. They say, no, don't touch that one, don't touch that one.
Right.
But it's important to know about these snakes.
Sure, sure. And, you know, snakes bring out many emotions in people. And we love them, but we hate them. And we're afraid of them, but at the same time, we're drawn to them. And so when I was a little boy, 4 years old, you know, and caught my first snake, my mother never had anything to say about, oh, run away or snakes are bad or kill them. And it led to an entire career in herpetology.
Yes.
And I've dealt with snakes from Canada to the Amazon. So, but yeah, Mississippi is rich in snakes. It's a tall state. My home state of Illinois, a tall state.
Oh, it is a tall
Different
state.
habitats.
Yes.
In Mississippi, we have barrier islands in the Gulf of Mexico. We have Appalachian Mountains in the north, and everything in between. So we have many habitats, many different kinds of snakes. So.
What should we be on the lookout for as far as to avoid?
Well,
Other than
snakes are where you find them. You never seem to see a snake when you're expecting to see a snake, right? And so I've told,
Yes,
I've told several, you know, a couple million Mississippi school children over 45 years to take 2 steps back and walk away. Take 2 steps back and walk away. And every person carries a camera in their pocket or purse, don't they? Yes. Everybody does.
Yes.
And they can take a picture of that snake and they can send me a text. They can send a picture to the Natural Science Museum, and it can be identified in a matter of moments. So, but take 2 steps back and walk away. My grandson, who's 7.5 now and loves dinosaurs and snakes, when he was 2, we turned over a log looking for roly-polies. There was a snake. He stood up, he backed up, and he said, 1, 2, under his breath. He took 2 steps back. He knew exactly what to do. And we can teach our children to do that.
Yes.
You know, kids are smart.
Yes.
Little kids, 2-year-olds, they're smart, they know. And so, but leave them alone, that's the main thing.
Right.
And this time of year, in August, September, is the breeding season for our native Mississippi pit vipers, rattlesnakes, cottonmouths, copperheads. And you know, big male rattlesnakes are on the move. They're single-minded. They're looking for a date. And, you know, and so they take their licks. They get run over a lot. They get killed by people who don't understand or simply just don't like snakes. And my job, my career has been to change people's minds, and sometimes it's spitting against the wind.
Well, I can see that, but then I can also see that the knowledge, especially as we reach these younger kids, that this is very good.
It is. And a 12-year-old boy who approached me at a program at the Natural Science Museum is now in his late 30s. One of my best friends, and he loves snakes. That's what he does.
Isn't
you know,
that,
and
you inspired him.
When he was 12, he said, "I'm a herpetologist."
Isn't that is?
And my grandson has informed us that he is a zoologist and a paleontologist. So.
And a paleontologist, of course. Yeah. Well, you've brought a special.
A friend. Yeah. Okay.
In the cooler.
And needless to say, this is a harmless snake, and I know that he had a relative on the show some time back.
He did. And Terry, you know what I learned was, because I said, oh, well, they had a bigger one from the Natural Science Museum, and the tongue was going out. Is that called a tongue?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, the tongue was going out, and I said, oh, but the tongue's going out. And they said that's how they sense the temperature, whether or not there is prey there?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Smell, mostly. Smell.
Maybe it was smell.
They don't smell with their tongue per se.
Okay.
They pick up particles, molecules, and things out of the air off of the surface of the ground, and they bring them back in and they send them to the brain. And their entire existence is based on chemistry, so sense of smell. And king snakes are popular because of the habit of killing and eating other snakes. And so people often say, well, that's the good snake.
Yes.
All snakes are good.
Okay.
All snakes are good.
All snakes are good, but this one gets the bugs and all.
Well,
right?
these guys are immune to pit viper venom, so they can eat young rattlesnakes, young copperheads. They can eat them.
Like
They won't keep them away.
Yeah, right.
They won't eliminate them or reduce their numbers. But they'll also eat a green grass snake or anything like that too. But the fact that they have king in their name, and they're easy to identify with all the little polka dots.
They're little, yes, it is.
Then people remember them as the snake that eats the venomous snakes.
It does. It does look like some of our quilting fabrics right there, actually. A good polka dot you need.
And in Mississippi, snake bite, it's important if it happens to you, but in the whole medical picture, there's not a lot of relevance there because we have 3,300,000 people. We have 100 snake bites a year. 100 out of 3 million. And nobody dies. We hear about it, but we find out now that didn't really happen. We can't really document a snake bite fatality in almost 80 years. But nonetheless, you don't want to be bitten by a venomous snake.
No. But the venom is good for what?
Yes.
It can be used in
Everybody's seen a technician milk a snake. They make the snake bite on a glass, the venom comes out, and that venom, which is simply used to help digest food for the snake and help him get his prey, but that venom for us is used to make anti-venom in case you get bit, and it's used for all kinds of medicinal things. We use snake venom for painkillers, to treat heart disease, diabetes. You just almost, the list goes on and on. Wow. And the copperhead in Mississippi that nobody likes and everybody's afraid of, the venom of the copperhead is being used in trials to treat breast cancer.
Wow.
You know, from the tooth of the serpent comes both death and healing. Wow. It's very, very important. And
Such a history. I mean, really.
Yeah. And Lucius Bonaparte, who was the brother of Napoleon Bonaparte, was the first to really analyze snake venom and find out that it was made of proteins and enzymes. And
oh my goodness.
So it's fascinating stuff.